Hey everybody, since posting my pictures on Discord and Facebook, I've gotten lots of questions about how I did certain things um, with the SimHogger and Run8, and I've been answering those individually, which obviously takes forever and a year. So I decided to make a quick video. Before I get into it here, I'm not a YouTuber, I'm not a blogger or anything like that. So, I'll do the best I can with this video and hopefully it'll answer any other questions that you may have. I'm not a full-time railroader. At best, I'm part-time. I'm a conductor with the Steam Railroading Institute in Owasso here in Michigan. We have the Pierre Marquette 1225, which, as most of you may know, was used as the model for the Polar Express. When I started this project and built it was probably 2016, 2017, something like that. And control-wise, the only thing really available was the rail driver. So it was built as a desktop. Once Wireless Billy had released his control setups, I had considered ripping out the entire desktop and placing all the controls into a control stand shell. I decided against that and just left the desktop in place and kind of built around that. I wasn't going for 100% accuracy, as some people have pointed out in different messages, whether it be Discord or Facebook or anything else. This was built for my 6-year-old at the time, so 100% accuracy was not the goal here. And at the time that I built this, really the only simulator that I knew of was Microsoft Train Simulator, so everything ran off Microsoft Train Simulator with the rail driver. Later I discovered Train Sim World through Steam and a few other programs that they had out there. So the initial build was, like I say, 2016, 2017 with the rail driver running Microsoft Train Simulator. And then it just kind of evolved and snowballed from there. So with all that in mind, let's get into it. One of the first questions I've been asked is, what type of computer am I using? Am I only using one computer or multiple computers to run this system? I am using one computer. It is a HP Omen 35L. I can't tell you all the stats on that. I'm not that computer guy. I don't get into it that much. But it is one computer running everything within the train simulator. Secondly would be the monitors. I'm running two 50-inch monitors, one on the engineer side, one on the conductor side. ELDs are 10.1 monitors, two on the engineer side, one on the conductor side. I got them from Walmart. I think they were $40, $45 a piece. The monitors are quote-unquote monitors. Were TVs, just TVs. They're not no fancy monitor or anything like that I ordered from Walmart initially when I did the initial build. So for the primary monitors, what I did was get a DisplayPort adapter, DisplayPort to HDMI, and ran that up to a HDMI splitter, and then ran two HDMI cords, obviously, to one to each monitor. I could use two display ports to HDMI and done it that way, but since this is the only thing that it's used for, I couldn't justify duplicating or mirroring the displays. I can just split it off and use one display all the time. Same thing with the ELD monitors that I use. HDMI port or display port to HDMI, and then it goes into a HDMI splitter and splits off to the three different monitors, and then I just extend the display to the ELD monitors. I don't mirror them, I just extend them. Obviously, since they're all running off the same HDMI port, they all show the same image. I do have some 12-volt circuitry that runs in here, low voltage. I just purchased a regulated power power supply off Amazon, maybe like $25, something like that. It runs the radio, some lighting, and a few other things that I've put in here. So for sound, I just used an old DVD surround sound system that I had. I used the front 2 speakers and then the subwoofer. I didn't see a need to run the center speaker and rear speakers and everything else. It actually sounds pretty good when everything's up and running with just the 3. So on the engineer's side, as many of you have seen through the pictures, I have the primary monitor here and the 2 ELD displays. One of the 12 volt items that I have in here is a radio that I reprogrammed for MERS frequencies using low power, so the kids can talk back and forth to each other. There's a light switch here for the light over top of the engineer. The switch right here goes to a set of center lights that are dimmable. SimHogger controller mounted right here. I wanted to mount it kind of out of the way so that I didn't have to worry about the kids getting tangled up in the wires or yanking on wires and ruining anything. The SimHogger itself is exactly as it comes from Wireless Billy. I did make a couple changes. I added some backlighting to the switches, and I backlit the wheel slip, PCS, brake warning, sander, etc. Since it's just display, obviously, I wasn't going to try and light up each individual switch. I just put a strip across it. I changed out the bell from the toggle to a push button. It's the exact same type of push button used for the alerter, just a larger size and obviously a different color. Moving to the back wall of the simulator, I created a board. Master power switch. Power comes off the 12 volt power supply to the master power switch. Radio off on is controlled here. There are no number boards, it's just a dead switch. Same with platform lights. Engine room lights on the front side of the simulator. I built a false wall in front of it, and there's a small door here to get to the front side of the simulator where all the cables and wires and all that good stuff are. So I just wired in 12 volt lights to the engine room lights in case I got to go back in there and change anything or adjust anything. Ice license switch, start, stop, run. It doesn't do anything other than change the lights. Once again, something the kids think it's cool. It lights up, it changes. Conductor side, there's once again the 10.1 inch display for the ELD, the 50 inch TV / monitor, light switch above the conductor, horn control, bell control, and those are just spliced from the original horn wiring and the bell wiring. Backlights are just LED strips that I had cut down, used some plastic clips to hold them in place, and I actually run those off the 12 volt power supply. They're not tied into the SimHogger itself for the gauge lights or anything. So one of the questions that seems to pop up the most is the ELDs or external locomotive displays or whatever we want to refer to them as. I had found a video on YouTube and it was just so convoluted and messed up that the only thing I got out of it was the website to go to, and I kind of figured it out myself. So for the ELDs, it's railcoder.com, and you're going to choose the external locomotive display, ELD. install that. Some people have said that you need the rail-coder port duplicator. I have not needed that. You may possibly need that if you try to run the ELD and the cab signal overlay. You may need it, but I have not needed it. So once installing the ELD program, bump it up. I'll go full screen here. You're going to want it to stay on top. Well, actually, let's not do that right yet. You can set your lead engine, unit number, and the UDP port is 12345, same as SimHogger. So then when I'm ready to run, all I do is just drag it over. Go to full screen, stay on top, and the ELDs are ready to run. And all three ELDs will display the exact same image since they are just split. So once you have your SimHogger up and running and Run8 up and going, ELDs, you're going to want to set your unit. So we're going to change lead unit, CSXT. Currently on the head end I have 5495. The UDP port is already set. So if you look at the main screen in the simulator, our EOT is 70520. That is the number that you're going to want to program into the ELD. So you're going to go to end of train, modify ID code. EOT ID code new. Backspace all the zeros out of there. 70520. Accept. Once that's accepted, you're going to run a comm test. And the comm test passed. ARM two-way. I have found sometimes you have to click ARM a couple times for it to take. And it is armed and ready to go. Exit. So now your ELD screens will match the screens in the simulator itself. One other thing that I did do, I forgot to mention, is that I did run another monitor. It's on the outside of the train simulator, actually on the front side. That mirrors, once again, the primary monitors. Sometimes the kids will want to be a conductor and one will want to be the engineer, or however they happen to do it. And when they're switching or whatever else, want to go outside on the outside and watch the monitor on the outside and call them moves. Another thing is too, one of them occasionally will want to play dispatcher, and we'll go on the front side and we'll read the prompts through the dispatcher display, back and forth to each other. I know that there's a bunch of stuff that you can do with Run8 as far as external dispatchers and everything else. I haven't got that far into Run8. Run8 just totally blew my mind. I'm used to the the simple, easy simulators, and there's so much involved with Run8 that the learning curve is massive, but it has been fun trying to figure it out. So, I mean, that's what I got for you guys. If you have any other questions, obviously feel free to ask. hopefully this will help out with some of the questions, or a multitude of questions that I've been asked. A lot of them seem to be pretty much the same. I figure this would just be an easier way to answer all of them.